Hey drummers, how's it going? It's Alex once again, bringing you some more fun-free drumming ideas. For this week's lesson, we're going to take a look at a nice little groove for beginners who are trying to bridge that gap to intermediate. Once we get it down, it's just kick, snare and hi-hat at first with 16th notes with the hands. We're then going to transpose it onto the toms so you can get a bit more mileage out of it. So if you like what you saw in the intro and you want to give this a crack, stick around and I'll break it down. Here we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is a 2-bar loop. Beat 1 and 2 are always exactly the same. We're just playing that classic 1 E and a 2 E and a. And if you've not played this groove before, just get used to that. And what I like to do, if I'm explaining it to sort of new drummers, I'll sort of just think of it as like 2 little groups of 8. You're putting a bass on number 1, and then you're going to bring your right hand down and hit the snare on number 5. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, get used to that. It sounds great when you start spinning up. Okay, and it's a really popular drum beat and you'd have heard it in tons of songs. So what we're going to do, it's all based upon that. Beats 1 and 2 are always exactly the same. So 1 E and a, 2 E and a. When we get to beat 3, we're going to bring the left hand down on the E beat 3. So we're going to have a bass drum on beat 3 itself, and then immediately after that we're going to bring that left hand down, hit the snare drum on the E of beat 3, and then we're still going to be clocking that snare on beat 4 as well. So if you wanted to count it in that sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which might help a little bit, you've got bass drum on 1, 1, snare drum on 2, the left hand, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you wanted to, you could just loop that round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then when you get used to that, add that first part, that beats 1 and 2, and you get 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Or you can count it to yourself like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once you get that down, just speed it up a tiny bit so you get on with it. Let's go a little bit faster. Alright, one thing to be careful with this particular groove is you always want to make sure that you're playing right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. When I've got some drummers who I'm just starting to teach this idea to, you'll notice, or I'll notice they'll start, sometimes they'll hit the snare on the right and then move their right hand up to the hi-hat and do 2 notes in a row. Then that kind of throws off the pattern for the rest of it. So be really, really sort of like disciplined at keeping that right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. If you do that, the muscle memory will eventually take over and you won't even have to think about it. So, right, we've got that down. So we've got our first bar. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. All we're going to do, when we go around the second time, when we get to beat 4, we're going to play all those notes on the snare drum. So you get this. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Or if you want to count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then loop. Okay, and then if you play those 2 ideas back to back, we get. Okay, let's speed her up. Right, so once you've got that down, another thing you can do is transpose this over to the tom. So what you can simply do is just move your right hand to the floor tom, left hand up to the high tom, and play exactly the same thing. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Okay, it's exactly the same. Might feel a little bit different because obviously your hands are moving in slightly different directions compared to when you're playing up on the hi-hat. But once you've played this round a few times, it sounds pretty sick. What you want to try and do, keep the notes on the toms quite quiet. You want to mainly hear the bass drums and the snare drums. These are going to create like a nice little rumble underneath. So if I speed it up a tiny bit, you should hear that clear boom, ba, boom, ba, ba underneath. Cool. Another thing we can do is then take those 4 notes on the snare drum. So just playing there, right, left on the snare, we can go snare, high tom, floor tom, floor tom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, around the kits we get. those notes I would play a little bit louder compared to the rest of the tom. So if I play this 2-bar loop all together, we've got 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 1 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 2. Notice I just brought up the volume of those toms a tiny bit to make them stand out, just that little bit more. All right, so there's your 2 ideas. What you want to practice now is just sort of like transitioning between the 2. So I'm just going to turn the drums down a little bit, and I'll get a bit quieter. And I'm just going to sort of blast my way through a couple of different speeds. So here we go. Let's go a little bit faster, here we go. Alright drummers, there it is. I hope you enjoyed that video. Please do give it a like if you did like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you want the sheet music, you can grab that from onlinedrummer.com. It's completely free to download, and there's a link in the description below. Also down there you'll find links to like various packages I've put together. I've got some more advanced like drum fill and drum beat ideas, and then a nice sort of quick start guide to playing drums for you beginners. Also down there you'll find links to my Patreon page if you want to come and support the channel. That'd be absolutely great, and there's links to Facebook and Twitter down there if you want to come and say hello. So until next time, take care, keep drumming, and I'll see you next Thursday for some more fun free drumming ideas. Alright, peace.